Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Rachel back again with another video on Life with Pilates. So today I'll be doing 5 things I wish I knew about nursing before I did my degree. And also don't forget to subscribe and like this video. If you do want to know when I do post, please turn on the notification button somewhere. And yeah, if you have any questions or you don't feel comfortable commenting down below, just DM me and I will reply to your DMs, so don't worry about that. And yeah, stay tuned and watch my video. The first thing that I wish I knew about my nursing degree before I actually started it was how mentally draining it is. I cannot stress this enough. Nursing is draining. The course is hard. Don't let anyone lie to you and say that it's not hard, because it is hard. It was really hard. I struggled a lot with it, like with a lot of mental health stuff. Just literally, it's just so hard. You feel so isolated at times. This is why it's good to have friends, like socialize with people, get to know people, because you'll be by yourself majority of the time. I am not even trying to lie to you. Like, the course is hard, and it's just like it's very repetitive as well. Like, you're going to placement, doing this, going back home, and it's long hours as well. You're on the ward for 12 hours and 30 minutes, and you are by yourself. You may have other students with you, but majority of the time you're going to be by yourself with other, obviously, like workers. And yeah, so you will feel like alone at times. Like, I did feel by myself when I was on placement, because I was the only student that was on the ward and I was with other nurses. So I was like, okay, cool, like there's no one who's around like my age that I can talk to. So I kind of felt like a bit out of place. So yeah, it's just, you will feel like alone, you feel like mentally drained, you be tired. Like, in my first ever placement was amazing, I'm not gonna lie. My second placement that I had in first year was terrible. Like, I will do a story time about that. Like, that really did like make me have a breaking point in my nursing degree, because of how rude they were. Like, I feel like the ward that you are really does impact your whole nursing experience and nursing everything, because you can have a good placement and you will love it. You can have a bad placement and that is literally it. That was it with me. Like, I had a really bad placement, and it just literally was like, what's the point of me doing this? So yeah, but I've just felt like your university will give you some support systems, and you can speak to your friends who don't even do your degree, and just make sure that you go out, you don't trap yourself in your room, because I know it does become a habit. You're just like, I'm so tired, I can't be bothered. But then you realise that you're spending the majority of the time in your room. Like, you need to go out. So taking care of your mental health is very important while doing this degree, because you can literally just be like, that's it. Like, you can literally be happy one day and your mood is just down the next day, and it just gets overwhelming. That is it. It just gets overwhelming. You start to get tired. You start to feel like, what's the point of me doing this anymore? Like, mate, I've literally almost dropped out about 5 times. Like, yeah, it's the honest truth, because it's just a lot. Like, the first placement that you ever do, you'd be like, what do? I don't know what to do. You just yeah, guys, it is tough. It is really tough. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, yeah, nursing is so easy, it's a walk in the park. No, it's not. It is not. You just need to make sure that you're ready to sacrifice some things before doing this degree, because you will not be able to go out with your friends all the time. Like, some days you have to be like, okay, yeah, I've got placement the next day, I can't go out. You have to be like, oh, I've got an assignment due the next day, I can't go out. Or you may have like sim time, you can't go out. Like, you just have to think about that. So yeah, like, it is mentally draining, but you just need to think the reason why you did the degree, and think about how rewarding it is. Nursing is really rewarding. So yeah, that's what I literally did. So the second thing that I wish I knew about nursing before I started the degree was how good your time management has to be. Like, I did not think it would be this hard. In first year, I did struggle a lot. especially with like having patients and having to do certain stuff at a certain time, and if you're late by 1 minute, that could ruin everything. Also with handover as well, you need to get to handover on time. Like in my last placement, we started at 7:45. You need to be there at 7:45 on the dot, or else you miss literally everything. Like you miss all what they have to say about the patient, and that could be your patient that you may be looking after and you don't know anything about them. That's why it's really important. And like, it's just with managing, now that I'm in 3rd year, I have to manage my own patient, so I need to make sure that this patient has so time at this time, and this patient has obs at this time. And if like you have a post-op patient, so a patient who just came out of theatre, you need to do 15 minutes observations on them, so you have to make sure that it's bang on 15 minutes, and then after that is 30 minutes, then after that it's an hour. Like, it's just that. So you just need to make sure that your time management is good, because if you don't have good time management, you will struggle. Like I did in 1st year, I struggled a lot, because I also used to things like being like, oh, okay, I'll do it, and then I do it on my own time. But no, you can't do it at your own time. You have to do it when it's set. So that's what I wish I knew about nursing before I started, because I just thought, okay, it was just literally a walk in the park. Girl, it was not a walk in the park. Literally, I'm not even gonna lie to you, I'm not even lying. Like, it was actually hard. But yeah. So the 3rd thing that I wish I knew before starting my nursing degree was how broke I'll be. Guys, I cannot stress how broke you be in uni. Like, it's actually tough. It's tough. Because remember, you are funding your own placement. You're funding your own transport, because you guys are funding your own transport to go to placement, and that is expensive. So on my locality is quite a distance from where I am based, and guys, I was paying like £20 plus every single day for my placement, just to go in the bus. That was literally my journey. And that's how it is for majority of my placements anyway. But when I am in a placement that is closer to home, I just take a bus, which is easy, or sometimes I could walk. But nigga, I ain't gonna walk to placement, because that's too long. So yeah, like, you just need to remember that. And funding for those stuff is expensive. And then on top of that, you need to remember that you need to have like a social life as well. So going out with your friends, going on dates with your girls or your boyfriend or whatever. So funding that, you're going to have to pick which one you can afford to do, because you need to know how you're going to get to placement the next day. And that means that you can't go Nando's with your friend, because you are going to be stranded. Or unless if you have like your parents that are there that can fund your transport, that is really helpful as well. Like, my parents really did help me a lot, especially with funding my transport for placement and like what I'm going to eat and stuff like that. Like, my parents really did support me. So if you have parents that are really supportive like that, just ask them for money, or you can go to your university and take out a loan, and they're really understanding. Like, I know one of my mates that did that, and it really helped for a placement, because they understand how tough it is. But then you have to meet certain requirements to actually apply for those loans. So just make sure you read what you're agreeing to before you find yourself in debt. Like, you're already in enough debt to already going to university. You don't want to be more debt. Just to let you know. So yeah, that's what I really found hard. Like, you want to buy this nice shoes, but how you get into placement tomorrow? So it's just stuff like that. That's what I found challenging. And just make sure that if you do have a part-time job, it's like, with part-time jobs, it's actually quite tricky, because like, I know one of my friends who was working in Tesco, but then she needed to manage her uni time and work as well. Like, it could be really overwhelming. And on top of that, you need to remember, as a student nurse, you're on placement, you need to do your assignments and a part-time job. That is quite a lot on your plate, and you will like get to a breaking point and you're just going to be like, I need everything to stop. I need to think about what I'm doing. So I just say, just take care of your mental health and do what's best for you. But yeah, that's what I'll just say that I found really challenging, and I wish I knew about that before I started my degree, because I wasn't prepared on how broke I was. Like, it was tough. It was really tough, especially like funding for some stuff and trying to go out, but you can't go out because your bank account ain't saying the same thing. Like, your bank account is so yeah, that's basically. So the fourth thing that I wish I knew about nursing before I started my degree was, you will not know everything. Like, just because your friend beside you knows the whole anatomy and the BNF, that doesn't necessarily mean that you are stupid, you are not smart. Like, you are at different stages at your learning. So don't feel like because you don't know this, you're a bad nurse, you're not doing a good job. You are doing a good job, but obviously, like, you don't really, I don't know, like, take a lot of knowledge that they do. You don't necessarily do stuff that they do. Like, you are different. You're a different person. Don't stress too much about that, because if you do, you're gonna be like, oh my god, that means I need to learn this, I need to learn that, I need to learn this, I need to learn that. Just don't worry. Like, the BNF will be beside you when you are doing these drugs anyway, but obviously just have knowledge with the basic ones, like the ones that you use like in an emergency situation, and the ones like basic painkillers, and you know, just know that you don't need to know everything. And with the anatomy, just to learn like the basic stuff about the body. Don't know the depth and what the cells does in this body. And girl, don't stress yourself out, because that's when you start getting overwhelmed and you feel like you're not doing a good job. And yeah, just don't stress yourself out too much. I wouldn't, so I don't think you should too. So the fifth thing that I wish I knew about my nursing degree before I started was the amount of hours that I'll be on placement for. I did not know that we were going to be on placement for that long. I did not know that we were going to be on placement for that long. I cannot stress how tired and drained I was. Like, I did a 12-week placement and I had to be in 4 times a week. Yeah, bear in mind I'm doing 12 hours and 30 minutes shifts, but then they didn't really count in our breaks then, so it was 11.5 hours. It's a long day, it's busy. Like, when you come home, you're tired. You can't socialize with your friends. You can't do that because you're exhausted. Like, you will be tired. So I wish I knew that, okay, I wasn't mentally prepared for the amount of hours I'll be on placement for and how many hours I'll be in the hospital for. Like, I just thought that it was just going to be something like simple, like placement would not be as stressful as it was. And yeah, that was basically it. Like, I just felt like I was on placement too much. I felt like it was my second home. Literally, I felt it was my second home, and it was just stressful. It was really, really hard adapting to that. But now I'm used to it. I'm so used to it. 12 hours and 30 minutes shift is not even, it's a walk in the park if it's not a busy day. So yeah, I feel like it's just you getting used to being on shift for that long and adapting to that hospital and their regime. And yeah, I just felt like it was really, really challenging, especially in first year, because I was on a 16-week placement. Someone who's never worked in a hospital before was on a 16-week placement. I literally felt like I was dying. Like, I wanted to drop out about 5 times before the year ended. Like, on top of that, you don't get summer holiday. God, when your friends finish in June, you're still on placement, honey. You are still on placement until August. And if you don't have hours to do over, you won't finish until September. Like, it's stressful. That's why you just make sure you do all your hours. If you know you are really sick and you can't come in, take your days off. Look after yourself. But if you're like, I can't be bothered to just get up and go out of bed right now, I'm just going to call in sick. Don't do that, because you're going to have to do the hours again. You're going to have to do the hours. So you have a certain, I don't know how it is for different universities do different things, but in my university you have to do a certain amount of hours to pass. My uni does extra hours. I don't know why they're so extra with doing that. So they do extra hours just to make sure that we are actually doing the right hours or whatever. but you have to reach a certain amount of hours to actually pass. Because I know with midwifery, you have to have like a certain amount of birth to actually pass as well, which is really hard because that's not in your control. So yeah, like you have to do a certain amount of hours to actually pass the course, and if you don't do it, because I think it's required for the NMC, so yeah, you have to do a certain amount of hours to actually pass your degree. If you don't do that, then girl, you gotta start doing your hours. Don't miss days for stupid things. It's not worth it. Just make sure you go to all of your shifts, all of everything. Just go to everything. Don't miss days off, because it's not worth it at all. It's not worth it. Like, it's not worth it at all. But yeah, those are 5 things that I wish I knew about my nursing degree before I started to do it. So please guys, make sure you like, comment and subscribe to my channel, and turn on the notification button to be notified when I do post a video. And also, if you do have any questions to ask me, comment down below, or go on my Instagram and DM me any question you have regarding nursing. My Instagram link is going to be in the bio. So yeah, that's basically it for this video, and I hope you guys have a nice day and are enjoying yourself, and I will see you guys in my next video. So goodbye guys.